Good morning. Today is day 5 of doing 100 pull-ups every day to raise awareness for Alzheimer's disease as well as to raise money for Alzheimer's disease. So I'll mention it right now. There's a link in my description that you can donate to. All donations go straight to the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. They do research for Alzheimer's. They do care for Alzheimer, people that suffer from Alzheimer's, and yeah, Alzheimer's Society is something worldwide, but because I live in Canada, I created the donation page for the Canadian Society, but there's one in the United States and other places in the world as well. So any size donation is greatly appreciated, and if you want to help make a difference, you can start by donating at that page. So it's currently 6:21 a.m. right now. Sun's out. It's a nice day, and it's time to do some pull-ups. I think I'm gonna do 7 on the minute again. Yesterday went pretty well. It was hard, but it went well. So yeah, let's start. All right, 100 pull-ups, 7 on the minute. 3, 2, 1. All right. So the fact of the day. Let me just pull it up because it's a long one again. All right. So we've discussed how Alzheimer's affects your brain. It physically changes your brain with these amyloid plaques and uh, tau tangles. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but TAU. That's how it's pronounced. But anyways, these changes in the brain can occur or can begin, yeah, decades or more before symptoms even start to arise. So it's a long process. Okay, so I've done 7, going for 14. So yeah, during very early stages of Alzheimer's, toxic changes are taking place in the brain, including abnormal buildup of proteins that form amyloid plaques and tau tangles. So yesterday I was explaining how that damage that occurs during the brain creates those tangles and plaques. Essentially, what happens is the proteins in your brain, because of the damage, proteins start to seep out almost of your brain, and it creates these types of buildup. Yeah. So done 14, going for 21. So previously healthy neurons, when these types of buildup occur, so yeah, these previously healthy neurons stop functioning, lose connections with other neurons, and die. So because of these amyloid plaques and tangles, the neurons start to die and lose the connections between each other. So that's why you start to see cognitive decline slowly over time. All right, so I've done 21, going for 28. And that's why it takes so long. You have these buildup of proteins that can occur decades before you see any symptoms, and it slowly but surely damages your brain. You get this buildup, and that is what destroys the connections between your neurons. And that's when you finally start to see that decline in your cognitive function. And it's scary because you can't see it coming until it's too late almost. But yeah. All right, so I've done 28. I'm going for 35 now. The next part about the fact that I was saying is, so yeah, the damage initially appears to take place in the hippocampus, which is uh, and also the and what was the big word? Entorhinal cortex. I have no idea if I said that properly, but I know the hippocampus is responsible for memory, I believe. So that would explain why your memory starts to decline with Alzheimer's. So yeah, these two parts of the brain are essential for forming memory. Yeah, like I just said. All right, 35. Going for 42. So as more of these neurons start to die, additional parts of the brains are also affected and begin to shrink. So by the final stages of Alzheimer's, you see drastic shrinkage in someone's brain. So you can look it up online, but you can look up healthy brain versus Alzheimer's brain, and it's just completely shrunk. It looks almost like someone, like when you dehydrate a fruit, it gets all like small and like sucked in. That's what a brain that suffers from Alzheimer's looks like. All right, I've done 42, going for 49. So that was the fact of the day. Now, the prevention tip of the day is to get good and consistent sleep. I know I kind of went over this 2 days ago. Yeah. But sleep has so many good benefits for your body and mainly your brain. I'm going to list them out. So, sleep gets rid of the waste in your brain. So, throughout the day, your brain builds up this waste, including beta amyloids, which is what causes those amyloid plaques. Sorry. Let me just do my set and I'll continue. So, I've done 49, going for 56. Okay. So yeah, beta amyloid builds up in your brain over the day. That's your brain's waste. When you sleep, it activates the glyphalic system, which is what gets rid of that waste. So if you don't sleep enough, you're not getting that waste out, and then obviously it builds up, and you can get that brain damage that I was talking about, the amyloid plaques. All right, next set. So done 56, going for 63. Another reason why sleep is super important is that sleep is when your brain consolidates memory, repairs neurons, and strengthens synapses. So I might get this wrong, but I think the synapse is the connection between your neurons. I could be really wrong, but I think that's what it is. So without enough sleep, the brain doesn't get a chance to heal and restore itself, which accelerates aging and cognitive decline. So it's another reason why sleep is really important. Okay, so I've done 49, or well, 63, going for 70. Another reason why sleep is important, this is actually a fact, or no, this is not a fact. The fact is later, but chronic sleep loss increases inflammation and stress hormones, which are both linked to brain cell damage and Alzheimer's. So, we've all done it. We've gone a couple days in a row without getting enough sleep, and you start to feel a little different. You start to feel kind of more anxious, more irritable. Well, that's why. It's no sleep stresses you out. So, okay, I've done 70, going for 77. Now, to show how important sleep is, I'm going to say this fact. People constantly get less than 6 hours of sleep per night are at a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. And the reason being is all the reasons that I listed previously. Sleep is so important for your brain health. I think it's one of the most underrated things that people can do. It's so easy to just get enough sleep. Just go to bed early. It's really hard, but even I don't get enough sleep. Like I only got 6 hours last night. Okay, I've done 77, going for 84. So yeah, sleep is super, super, super important, and it's not even just for your brain, like just overall body health. If you're an athlete, especially, and you're working out almost every day, you're playing a sport every single day, you need to sleep for your body to recover, and you'll just feel good. Your hormones will be more balanced. You'll be less stressed out. It's a win-win. But I know you got stuff to do sometimes. It's hard to get to bed early or wake up early. All right. So I've done 84, going for 91. All right. So that's my fact and my prevention tip of the day. Hopefully you learned something new, and if you didn't, well, it's a good reminder. Um, yeah, and again with the sleep thing, this one I'm gonna really stress this because it's so easy to fix. Instead of scrolling on your phone at night and staying up until 1 a.m., just put the phone away at like 9 p.m. Do something else, stretch, or I don't know, do something that's not stimulating your brain, and just go to bed at like 11. It's still pretty late, but you'll get good sleep. So I've done 91. Just gonna do a set of 9 to finish it up. All right. Two, go. All right. That is 100. I'll do an extra one just in case I forgot to do one or I miscounted. Okay. Let's do a slow one just to get that extra burn. Nice. So that's 101 or 100. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Like always, I'm going to remind you to donate in the link in my description if you can. Any size donation is greatly appreciated. I say this every time, even $1 I'd be happy with. So donate. If you can't donate for some reason, sharing the link to others would help a lot. Just getting these videos to see as many eyes as possible. Even if I don't get that much money, at least the information that I'm sharing hopefully gets through to people and they could potentially learn something, change some lifestyle choices to make them less susceptible to developing Alzheimer's. They could share it with someone they love or a friend that they see is going down that path, so then they could change, I guess, their trajectory. And yeah, and I hope, like, I don't think it's a safe assumption to make that, oh, I just won't get Alzheimer's. You never know, especially now with all the technology. Like, people's sleep have declined significantly, I think, because of, we just scroll on our phones before bed, and that destroys your sleep quality. Also, with just the work culture now, like, people are very stressed. Stress is not good for your brain. So we have to be very careful of how we live our lives so we don't get Alzheimer's. And it's okay to sometimes get 6 hours of sleep. Like, if you're in the grind, you're working on a project at school or at work or something like that. I get it. Just don't make it consistent. You don't want to be consistent. Like I said, people who sleep consistently 6 hours or less have a way higher chance of developing Alzheimer's. So you have to be careful that at least get 7-8 hours. But yeah, I just want to make sure no one gets it. It's such a crappy disease. I don't want anyone to get it. But yeah. So recap: did 100 pull-ups today. Please donate. All donations go straight to the Alzheimer's Society. Again, the reason why it's the Society of Canada for me is because I'm in Canada, but ultimately it goes to the organization so they can do research. Anything else? I see your comments. They're really encouraging. So yeah, keep sending them if you want. And yeah, follow me along this journey. Let's see how much money we can raise. Let's see how much awareness we can raise. And let's see how many pull-ups I can do. 100 a day, every day. So that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for another 100 pull-ups.